if I'm with Seth, maybe a couple nerds, but I'll get overshadowed.
I think you're underselling yourself.
Then I go buy some comics.
Yeah. Did the panel already happen today, or is that afterwards?
Panel's at 4.
Okay. What are you guys showing today?
We're showing a 5-minute sizzle reel and 3-minute 3D piece.
How's the 3D coming together?
The 3D is, I could not be happier.
Yeah.
Seth and I have been on a campaign to make this movie 3D since before we wrote it. When he was filming either Zack and Miri Observe and Report, I went to all the 3D companies and we researched it, and we always knew it would be 3D, even though some people in the studio did not.
Yeah.
And it's working great.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen some of the movies like Final Destination or My Bloody Valentine, which weren't largely cartoon or animated, but just seeing like real people in 3D,
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier.
Did Kato Vision, is that going in 3D? Like, have you
It's
seen what that
all
looks
3D.
Okay.
Kato Vision. Are you going to be able to put this out in the next 2 hours?
like? Yes, maybe.
Then I can't tell you.
Okay, I'll wait 3 hours. Go ahead.
Okay, the Kato Vision is all like we take advantage of the 3D heavily, and that's the piece we'll be showing in the room. It's 3D, and it's all based on reality, and there's no CG version of Seth running around in 3D or him riding on some weird beast.
Yeah.
But like we definitely play with our 3D. We don't just show you the movie in 3D.
Yeah, and can you describe Kato Vision for people who don't know? Because it does sound pretty awesome.
Oh, have other people been? Am I giving it away if I tell you?
No. Was that a part of the trailer, like when he kicks that guy, Kato?
Yeah,
or
that's
that was,
definitely.
Yeah, can you just, well, it's in the
I
trailer.
mean, I suppose the best way to put it is you go into his eyes and you see it from his perspective. So it's all Kato's vision, quite literally. And so it's kind of just how the man's mind works. So it's not like he's slowing down time
Not
literally.
Sherlock Holmes or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we came up with the idea, Sherlock Holmes came out a bit later.
Yeah.
We all freaked out because we thought it was the exact same idea. It's not. It's the Sherlock Holmes thing touches on it, I suppose. But from what I've understood, I haven't seen the film. Sherlock Holmes is like, I'm going to take
You're
that,
not missing out.
hit him with that. I've heard it's like okay.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like standard summer movie. But can you say, I'll talk a little bit about the tone, because it is kind of difficult to get an action comedy.
I mean, it's not like Pineapple Express, which was an action comedy also. But Pineapple Express was like a comedy.
Yeah.
Like the action was in itself a joke, really.
But it's still well done.
It was still pretty good action, yeah. But I mean, like to us, like every moment of action is like, we got two potheads holding guns. This is funny. But in this movie, like there is action with like a dramatic purpose, and we have to get to this, and we have to stop that guy. So we, when we're funny, and when we're serious in this movie. And when we do big action, we don't.
Yeah, but it's cool to see like a lighter comic book movie now, because it seems like some are gearing towards a little bit for the darker side, with like the Dark Knight. So is that what you guys set out to do? Like, say, make a lighter version that we haven't really seen?
The very initial, the day we signed on, we all agreed, me, Seth, and Neil Moore, it's like even before Michelle was around, we're gonna make the most enjoyable, most fun, most like what a fun romp for the whole family kind of film. Like we're not out to make the Dark Knight. We don't want to make it depressing. And also, when it comes to the Green Hornet, like everyone knows Batman, who is known as the Dark Knight, and so he's dark. Like that's what he is. If you made Batman all light and airy, as they did, it's an utter failure and it's crazy. But we have the liberty of creating whatever we want, kind of, because people don't know the Green Hornet that well. So we just stuck to the basics. They got their costumes, they're their costumes. They got their car, it's their car. We brought all the characters from the show in, and we don't make fun of the entire concept of it all.
Yeah.
We keep it real, but it's fun.
Yeah, what did Gondry bring to it?
It's almost silly to answer that question. You know what he brought to it. Everyone knows. He brought
He's fucking it up, right?
He brought his weird, creative, crazy shit, and he has all sorts of weird ideas, and tons of them work. Some of them don't. That's the best part.
Yeah.
So he hates when we tell this. He wanted to blow up a club with a foam bomb because he's a genius. He has crazy ideas, but 1 out of every 10 is just crazy. And so he wanted to blow up a club with a foam bomb in the movie, and I found a Lego club he built encased in like a foam bubble, and he had a room where he like hid all his failed experiments. But like the Kato Vision, he added tons to, and made all these crazy elements that play out. And I'm not going to describe it to you, but he came up with tons and tons of wild Michel Gondry style stuff. It's a lot of the Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind kind of shit.
Yeah.
But he also demanded, he doesn't want to do tons of dream sequences, and he doesn't want paper mache cities, so we
I
didn't
was
do any.
hoping for that too.
No
Yeah.
paper mache city.
Okay, but he's still kind of keeping his sensibilities. But like, that's not exactly. I don't know if you disagree, but like a big wide appeal. Like, I think most people who go in the science sleeve may not entirely get into it. But would you say that's kind of an issue? Like, some people like conflict because you're trying to make this for a big audience.
Because everyone involved was a completely different type of person. Like Seth and I are two 27-year-old Canadians who like to play video games and sit at home. And Michel Gondry is crazy creative Frenchman. And Neil Moritz is like guns, bikinis, fast, furious. And the combo of like us with the studio and everyone else involved, and the fact that no one was flatly in charge. You know, we were all doing it as a good, big collaborative team effort. So if Neil was like, yeah, let's have bikini girls there, we'd be like, no, that's silly, we can't do that.
Yeah.
And then Michelle would be like, well, what does they want in bikinis? And then we all meet halfway, and because of that the specific type of collaboration between all these different people, I think we hit the perfect middle ground to make a movie that everyone can enjoy.
Yeah. Can you say what was it like looking for a director? Because I know obviously you have Stephen Chow, and then you looked at like a bunch of different directors. So what were you looking for exactly?
Someone who thought the project like sung to them, you know. It was really, really hard because it's a weird project, and also when people are told, do you want to do a superhero movie, they think The Flash, they think Green Lantern, they think Batman. They don't think like Green Hornet. You remember that radio show? And most of them who came to it were kind of, I think, freaked out by the fact that it's so undefined that like we had to define it.
Yeah.
And also it was so on the fly that we never had a fully polished script. And normally we come to people with a script we worked for 5 years.
Yeah.
So we had to say, you know, and we got to work on this together, you and us. And Michelle was one of the directors who was like, okay, totally, I'll do that. Whereas some of the directors were like, what? This isn't done?
Awesome. Well, I got to wrap up. So thanks a lot.